Hey, what's up guys? I'm Hunter SC. This is episode 3 of our Dark Souls 2 walkthrough, and in this episode we're going to be tying up some loose ends. I definitely was left with the impression that we are moving too quickly through the walkthrough, and we've missed a bunch of stuff, so we're going to spend most of this episode, as I said before, tying up those loose ends, picking up pieces that we may have skipped in the past 2 episodes. So first thing I think we have to do is replace my Crimson Shield here with the much more preferable one, Blue Wooden Shield. So we can do that as we move through Forest of the Fallen Giants for the first time, really. At least this section of this zone. Alright, so I also want to say here in the very beginning, I'm very happy to be making videos once again. To be completely honest, it's quite tough to get back in the swing of uploading after taking such a hiatus, and especially like that first and maybe even more so the second video, really hard to get going again. But now that we have and we're kind of in motion here, I'm just looking forward to making more videos. So thank you guys for sticking with me and watching us go through what is a really great game, truly. Okay, we can now swap on to something a bit more stylish. Same weight, slightly better defenses. Actually, you know, maybe we call it significantly better defenses. Absolutely no reason to be wearing the red one. Okay, I guess that's not completely true. You can see there's one attribute that is better on the red shield than the blue. Dark defense reduction on block. Yeah, super detailed, I know. And we've now got our shield of choice. So before we move on to fighting a boss, I guess we can just do this little side quest here.
Traveling all alone in these treacherous times. Well, I hope you have a very good reason. Oh, hogwash. Who am I to judge? My name is Pate. I journey hither and thither on a sort of treasure hunt, you might call. Be careful out there. There's talk of unsavory bandits who prey upon travelers like yourself.
Okay, so he's referring to Crichton, who I've mentioned in the last episode. And if we proceed through this archway, you can see it locks down behind us. Or it's really supposed to. There we go. So now that barred doors come down, it's locking us in. Exactly the same in style to what we saw 5 years ago in Demon Souls Stonefang Tunnel with patches. And, you know, he suggests then that there's treasure ahead. Go take a look, and you do that, just like here, and then the trap is sprung. I guess this is less directly set up as a trap. I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to cut Pate some slack when he certainly isn't deserving of that. But yeah, ultimately, Pate in this game serves as Patches, the hyena. Okay, let's do a quick heal. Dying is just like the worst in these episodes. I'm gonna be super salty anytime I die, for sure, from now on. Alright, so the one big benefit of going through this shortcut area is that you do get some aromatic ooze. And this is slightly less known, but I don't know, the game's been out for a while now, so chances are if you've played very much Dark Souls, you know about this secret. A Sorcerer's Staff, nothing I'll be using. But still kind of cool to have the illusory wall making a comeback in this game. And there's still definitely a couple illusory walls hiding that I have not yet encountered. Like there's one as you leave Belfry Soul that actually has a really good Black Knight sword. Well, it was really good in Dark Souls 1. you know, so I just found that one out very recently after like hundreds of hours played. So yeah, it provides a little bit of excitement during a replay.
Be careful.
Okay, so Pate here, very impressed.
It allows with luck
that we got through his trap, and he gave us the small white soapstone, or the regular white soapstone. Okay, now over here there are normally like red phantoms and you know, strong foes in New Game Plus. In New Game it's not so bad. Of course, you come over to this section at the very end of the game to do that late game Giants Dreams, or Memories rather, content. And then you can do this. This is really kind of where we're taking the long way. But again, I'm trying to slow the pace down a bit, making it last a bit longer, which is totally cool. It obviously wasn't my plan originally. You know, we moved very quickly through like Huntsman's Copse and Harvest Valley and Earthern Peak. You know, normally a player would never move through so quickly like on a first playthrough, but I don't know, it's still good that we covered the ground. And as I mentioned before, I'm going to be going back, as we're doing now, a little bit. Wow, I fully tried to jump there, but oh, this is just the dream for these undeads here. Alright guys, abort. No, I'm just kidding. Can't be running away. I'm level 47. With a pretty decent weapon here. No way. I don't know if I've ever been parried by one of those guys before. Okay, I really am curious what's in here. I know it's like junk, but what is it? A mail breaker and an infantry helm. Yeah, so really nothing good there. Which is kind of too bad, because you got to go out of your way to get here. This is a pretty tough room to get attacked by all the different sides if you hop down at the wrong point. Okay, hopefully this is enough life to drop down. And now we don't have to worry about firebombs raining down and setting off the TNT. But we still have this guy to contend with. Now I think an option that FromSoft probably wanted us to take advantage of is to actually lure this turtle all the way back here, and possibly even get him killed by having the enemies spring these ballistas. Oh, I'm kind of slow, but maybe we'll still be able to hit him. Yeah. Wow, we're just going off to the right a little bit there. What about this one? Wow, none of these are in a good position to hit him. All right, guys. I kind of tried. Oh, okay, maybe we'll have a second attempt here. He's actually coming back. Oh, never mind. Alright, I think you guys get what I was trying to do, but this guy's not cooperating with that strategy. So we'll just move along. Alright, these guys both have spears, so they can be pretty annoying. And then, you know, if you want to do a little extra exploring here, out onto the balancing beam. I don't even really want to fight this guy, because if I'm spamming R1 too much, I'll just like swing myself right off the edge. I don't know, sometimes that happens. But we did grab a halberd there. Great weapon that you can certainly use, you know, the whole way through a playthrough. A couple shards. Certainly not ideal. Wow, again. It's just a good thing that these guys don't know like how to position themselves so they can do a critical hit there, because, well, I would be dead. Twice now, in fact. Wow, guys, I can't believe that happened. It's okay. Not going to feel too bad about that one. I definitely deserved that. Okay, let's just get back to where we died. Alright, now that we've had to endure a rather unsavory death, I I'm not going to feel bad if we just sort of run back to make up for lost ground. So let's just squeeze our way past this turtle. And fortunately that fog wall's now gone, because it's pretty hard to just run by. Again, with those guys with spears, they'll just poke you once and then you can't walk through the fog door. Alright, we got our shortcut open for next time. And there's actually a guard on the opposite elevator here. We'll see him come by here. Yeah, just going up. It's kind of random. I'm not sure why they put him there. And there's one more guy with another rapier and this locked door. I wondered for quite a while what was on the other side of the door. It's really just some fire salamanders. We may talk a bit more about them in a few minutes. Alright, and now that we've restored our humanity, and provided that we've finished Pate's little obstacle course, for lack of a better term, he will now act as a summon here. So he's got a big tower shield just like our friend Patch's. Same thing goes with the spear. And yeah, he's actually got the hard leather armor, which is a pretty nice set developers gave him. And this is the first boss for most players, the last giant. Alright, so it's a pretty cool opening cutscene how the last giant frees himself from this pile of rubble, some of which was you know, on top of his right arm, trapping it and weakening his arm to the point that he can actually remove it, as you'll see in a minute here. So I do have pretty good damage for this point in the game with our weapon we got last episode. But the boss actually has quite a bit more durability just because I have a summon. And his damage is, I don't know, it's very small compared to mine. But he's a pretty good distraction. So yeah, what just happened there when you bring him down to 50% health, he rips off his arm. He's going to do a lot more damage with that arm. And yeah, he's got some attacks that have decent range, but we've put quite a bit into vigor, so I think we can just finish him off now. Not really have to worry about dying. Oh man. I guess I thought I had a sliver of stamina there. Okay, I was actually getting kind of nervous there at the end. Another death would have been really frustrating, but that's okay. Alright. Got another soul, and the soldier's key. Doesn't open this door. I'm not actually sure what key opens that door. But this soldier's key is going to be good for a few things that I'm just going to go through with you guys now. Alright, so we've still got this fog door up because of that shortcut to a shortcut I showed you guys in the first episode with the firebomb. And I don't know, there's no reason to really go through that fog wall, so we'll just leave it up and show you guys a few uses for this key. Actually, before we go through that door, let's just grab an item in a chest over here. Alright, a favorite ring of mine, especially in Demon Souls. There it was called the Regenerator's Ring. In this game, the Ring of Restoration. Only a tiny bit of HP regen in Dark Souls 2, but still a nice ring for us. I mean, we still have an empty slot anyway. And now it gives us that golden glow instead of the green one. And this is going to be very puzzling for players. You know, this area you get to encounter this locked door telling you to produce a symbol of the king, and that's certainly nothing we can do for a very long time. So we'll be back there, of course. I'll also mention that there are some, at least a couple strong red phantoms there, New Game Plus as well. And yeah, as I mentioned just a couple minutes ago, we can now go and move towards a new area. I don't remember the name of this zone. I don't actually go here very often. This gameplay right here in this hallway was featured, I believe, in the very first trailer of Dark Souls 2 gameplay that was revealed. I'm not going to kill these guys. This is a tricky encounter. We've got multiple turtles. They've got like backup infantry. I don't know. I'm sort of assuming that the turtles have a lot of health, but even still. Okay, now I'm actually just getting curious. I want to know what's over here. Black fire bombs and a homeward bone. Okay, so yeah, to my point before, this was shown in the very first reveal for gameplay, except it was pitch black. It was absolutely pitch black in this whole hallway, unless, of course, you brought the torch. But now it's just, you know, dimly lit, kind of gray. It represents a large transition from what was originally revealed to sort of what we see now. And we can just run this route here. Fortunately, turtles cannot make it up ladders, but there always seems to be more of these guys. Cracked red eye orb, kind of an interesting drop to have there. This zone, or this section of Forest of the Fallen Giants, was really puzzling to me early on. Like, I came back here many times because I was stuck and didn't know where to go, and thought that this was kind of a pointless section of Forest of Fallen Giants. And, you know, as such, I just kept coming back here, looking around, and trying to be more thorough, thinking I was, like, definitely missing something, but no, it's just kind of a random optional piece. You can pick up the Hunter's Set, exactly the same as Dark Souls, and this time it comes with the hat, which is always nice, the full set, and then this bonfire here. So it's still good to come down here. The armor set's pretty decent. It's nice to light this bonfire so you can come back here periodically in the future, because there's a replenishing consumable. Whoa. Got a nice knockback there. Getting hit by that horizontal swing. Alright, we gotta dispose of these guys before we can continue. Shoot, I was really hoping that I could two-shot these guys, but nope, the turtle's got like 1 HP left. Alright, let's create a little bit more space. Wonderful. Alright, so there's a sleeping giant here. A giant rests in peace. And it looks similar to the one I showed you a few minutes ago before we fought the last giant. And there are, you know, even 2 more of these guys scattered throughout the Forest of Fallen Giants. But you can't come here with the Ashen Mist Heart and access his memory at the end game. This giant serves a different purpose. Right here spawns a seed of the giants. and I'm not exactly sure on the trigger. It has something to do with invasions. I think when you get invaded, not sure if it has to be like a red phantom or a blue phantom, but when you get invaded, there's a chance that it will respawn a seed of the giants, and then you can consume that whenever you're getting invaded in the future, and it will turn all the enemies against the invaders, which is a really fun PvP item to have in the game. And this is really, as far as I know, it's the only place you can get it. It's probably the only place you can farm it, and just a good reliable one to pick up every so often. Alright, so we've done a couple things that I wanted to do in the Forest of Fallen Giants. There's still one left though. Alright guys, so there's a lot of pressure on me for this next part here. We only get one shot at this. One take. So we really have to make it count, okay? So when you climb on the ladder here, you get surprised by this bird carrying something. Let's knock this guy down. And the bird drops him off here. This is the introduction of the pursuer. So the pursuer is a fun fight. I enjoy fighting the pursuer. I think he's an interesting enemy. He can actually catch you with, you know, his blue sword attack. It's like a thrusting animation. There it is, right there. So if he catches you with that, it's going to curse you, which will decrease your HP by 5% and take you out of human form, put you in hollow form. And more importantly, it's going to power up the boss. If he lands that attack and curses you, he's going to also start like bellowing black smoke, and his eye turns red. And as far as I know, he just like does more damage. Possibly has better defense. Not sure about that though. But yeah, oh, and we staggered him there. Get a couple extra hits in. And then we get a ring that I will probably never take off. Well, unless we get the upgraded versions of it. The Ring of Blades. So that's always just going to give you straight up more physical damage. Let's take a look and see how it affects us here. Right now for physical damage we're at 117 plus 20. Putting on the Ring of Blades, 117 plus 30. Really? 10 damage? Well, I mean, it's going to make a difference sometimes. Like in the turtle example earlier, if I was wearing the Ring of Blades, they would have died in 2 hits instead of 3. But yeah, 10 damage really isn't that significant percentage-wise, but I mean, still worth doing. You have to kill that boss if you want to get to Lost Bastille, and you don't want to go through No Man's Wharf. So there's that. And yeah, we'll soon be getting the upgraded versions of the ring, at least the +1. You get the +1 the second time you fight Pursuer, and then you only get the +2 in the very late game. The Ring of Blades +2 you're supposed to get in New Game Plus at the in Drangleic Castle in the throne room. There's this big open room with the King and Queen's thrones. It's kind of random. There's nothing in there on New Game. But New Game Plus you go there and it spawns not 1 but 2 pursuers. A super difficult engagement if you're actually going to fight them straight up. But there's a fairly simple glitch that you can use which will despawn one of the pursuers, making it just a one-on-one, you know, very similar to the fight that we just had, you know, except he's going to have more health. So yeah, just a bit more information on that boss. And of course, if you've played through before, you'd recognize this is a boss room with 2 ballistas. This is the room that you normally fight the pursuer in, but obviously we're just a bit too cool for that. It's a cool place to fight him, though. You can, if you're a real pro, you know, a speed runner, and you've got all this style, and you've got the perfect timings on your parry, what you do is you walk into the boss room, and the pursuer's going to charge at you pretty much every time. So you just get a parry off, and that'll put him in a, you know, a staggered kind of animation, and you actually have enough time to run all the way over here and just hit him with one of these, and that'll take off a lot of his life. Alright. So still want to be getting as much extra loot as we can. Hopping down here. So we got the whole Drangleic set along with the sword. So why don't we just try this on? I kind of want to see what it looks like. I'm not sure I've ever even put this set on before. So did it not come with a helmet? None of these seem to be the Drangleic helmet. I don't know, maybe it just came with an infantry helmet, I'm really not sure. Okay, honestly I just kind of wanted to see what the armor set looked like. Alright guys, enough fashion souls. Let's get our normal armor going on. Should we rock the hat? You know, that's a pretty fresh pointed hat. Yeah, sure, why not? Okay. The only other thing I wanted to point out was that we picked up the Drangleic sword right here. And we don't have the stats to use it, so I can't exactly see how effective it would be. But it is a very popular sword, I know that. I haven't really used it, but I know it's a popular weapon. Yeah, even the straight up version should have pretty good damage, especially considering, you know, how early we are in the game. And then it probably takes Twinkling Titanite to upgrade, so those might be hard to find early on. Alright. Just taking in a little bit more of the scenery as best we can here before heading over to this bird's nest. Very similar to the one atop Firelink Shrine. You can arrive at this nest here. Just a simple examine. You don't have to curl up in a ball for 72 seconds. And we get a nice air transport. Alright guys, so that pretty much wraps up this video. I just want to take a stab at opening up the Blacksmith McDuff and grab a few things around here, but we're not going to be taking on any more bosses. Okay, now over here there's a large shard. That's a significant piece just because they're very scarce early on. You can get one large shard there and then another just in a moment here. Alright, we can actually stagger these guys with just two-handed R1s. And this is going to be the second time we encounter Lucatil. No, she's not here. I guess you need to meet her at No Man's Wharf. Otherwise, she's not going to show up here. Okay, so we got more large shards up here. Just another single one. And, yeah, as I mentioned before, we're going to try and free the blacksmith. So we are kind of coming from the back. I mean, you can plainly see all these enemies are facing the wrong way. So it's pretty clear that FromSoft intended for people to go through No Man's Wharf to get here. Or maybe not intended, but they expected that more people would be coming from that direction. Now this, oh, you gotta be very careful here. I have failed to open up the blacksmith's workshop many times. And yeah, it's largely just because of this, you know, large mummified dude swinging his scythe wildly. Okay, we've pushed it. Moment of truth here. Wow, that was a clean roll down the stairs. I've never seen such a true line on that TNT barrel. Thank goodness. Did not want to, you know, be doing this countless times like I have in the past. And then, of course, we've got this closed gate here. You can see the switch on the other side. It's impossible to open this up until, you know, either you go through No Man's Wharf, or if you kind of loop back around after killing the ruined sentinels, you can open up a shortcut that'll get you to the other side of this door. So yeah. And then this is a really popular bonfire, actually. Of course, we've got our blacksmith swinging, you know, wildly in here. And as such, players are always going to be returning to this area. This is a great spot to try PvP. And yeah, I think it's for obvious reasons. You've got people coming back here to do work with the blacksmith. And, you know, there's no safety here. There's no safety zone from, you know, like how there is in Majula, for example. So yeah, it leaves people pretty vulnerable. Oh, we've got even more large shards. So if we just take a look quickly, we've got 4 large shards, and we already invested 1 into the mace. So yeah, that's 5 large shards early on, which is a pretty good start, you know, upgrades wise. But of course, I'm kind of just babbling at this point because there's nothing else we can do, because we don't have the dull ember.
Oh, why can't they all be this easy?
I wonder what he is referring to. I have no idea.
We've got a wild one here. Shape up. Shape up, I say.
Very odd dialogues.
Oh, that's it, yes. That's the way. Dear flame, how brightly you burn. I ought to fetch a new ember. Flame.
Right, so there he makes it very clear to us. He needs an ember, and the ember he's looking for is inside the Iron Keep. So we'll be picking up that soon and bringing it back to him. Yeah, wish I had a bit more information about this blacksmith for you guys and what he could be referring to, you know, in his dialogues. He just seems kind of crazy. Yeah. But, kind of an anticlimactic ending to this video. But again, our goal here was really just to tie up the loose ends and, you know, gather a few things that we missed in the first couple of episodes. So we've got a bit more gear, some extra rings, 28k souls, and a bunch of upgrading materials. So now we just need that ember, and then we will be dealing a lot of damage. And we'll be able to, you know, take on some more bosses in the upcoming episodes. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for now. Thank you so much for, especially those of you who have, you know, stuck it out to the end here. I very much appreciate you guys watching and supporting this series. And I'm looking forward to doing more. I'm going to basically aim for 1 episode a week. I recognize how important consistency is here. And I'm really looking to deliver on that front. So yeah, expect more of these episodes up in the coming weeks and couple of months. And until next time, thank you again for watching. I'm Hunter SC. Peace out.